Hey there, it is Hardcore Honeys this week. We got Penny here with more than just one take. She's got those 2 hot takes, those 2 cents. And then we got Jade, got that J. Johnson coming from the north with taking hot takes. They're not cold. And then we also got me today, making sure no one gets out of control. We got me, TJ, and we're going to make sure that everything goes well with that. We don't want any yelling at each other. Okay. So, this week, we got our topic on all-star things. Talk about the voting, talking about the teams, if they're going to be doing we're going to do like the pick the team thing. So, yeah, we're going to just start all this up. So, first of all, Penny, who right now with the voting right now, so LeBron James is number 1 in the Western Conference right now. Do you think he deserves that right now, or is it just fan voting, just being the LeBron James fans right now?
I just think because he's popular, so he's always going to get that first vote. So automatically goes to the first, as the fans are always going to vote for him, no matter what.
And then also another one, Penny, I see that Jimmy, you love your Miami Heat fan. You love your Miami Heat. Jimmy's 4th in the Eastern Conference. How do you think that? I
was actually surprised.
You surprised with that? Cause,
yeah, well, they're having a good season, but I was surprised he's number 4.
But I see it in the top 10. Bam is also up there too, so tip of the hat for that. That's always good to see with that. I'm a big Bam fan. Wish he would have ended up with the Timberwolves with that trade, but whatever. So then, Jade. So, do you think there should be any more? Because right now they only have Kyle Lowry and Pascal Siakam, but right now the way it's looking for the voting, I don't think Kyrie's going to make it this year. Or Kyle Lowry. Do you think he's going to make it this year? He's been great for the team, but it's been kind of Pascal's team. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't been the scorer, of course, as much between last year and this year. They've both been injured, so I'm sure that's hurting some of the voting as well. I think people are ready for somebody new. Kyle, always ends up in there on the reserves, and as a Raptors fan, you know that what Kyle does goes way beyond the stats, and that's why he's always an all-star for us. But in terms of, we know that all-star voting is a lot about casual fans. They're not, a lot of those votes are people that are not watching every game, that don't know the teams intimately. And so I think for that reason, Pascal's kind of taken over some of the limelight. Not that he doesn't deserve it. I would say if it came down to it, I think they both deserve it equally.
Well, because luckily for Kyle, he might have the chance, because the starting lineup's only for fans. And then it's the media's choice, and then 50% goes to GMs and players. So I think for me personally, if you're in that bottom 7 for the rest of the bottom whatever that are not the starters, I'd take more pleasure in that, considering be like, oh, my peers and the coaches think I'm actually good enough to be on here, but I was just overlooked.
Yeah, for sure.
But then I had the list up in front of me, and then Jade, we got to sneak in there for guards in the East. We got Fred VanVleet right at the bottom there.
Steady Freddy.
Is he a starter this year for Toronto, or is he coming off the bench?
Absolutely. He's absolutely a starter.
He is? Okay.
Just the fact that he's starting at the beginning of the season before the injury bug threw everything into chaos for the Raptors. Kyle and Fred VanVleet, 2 6-foot guards starting and winning games. There's no reason that should work.
Yeah, I thought I had him at 6th man the entire year. That's how much I've been paying attention to the Eastern Conference stuff.
No, they started the season with Kyle and Fred in the starting lineup.
Really, they bumped him up now. Okay.
Yeah. And he's always said I'm good enough to be a starter, and he's proven that, in my opinion, for sure.
Okay, well that's okay. A little insight there with it, and then. Okay, so we got the couple meme players, some of the fan just joking around. So we got Alex Caruso, that balding man, and then we also have Taco Fall, which he's just tallest player pretty much ever in the league. I mean, he's just fun to have on the court. And then also Dwight Howard, which he's also in the dunk contest. Penny, what's your take on Dwight Howard in the dunk contest? Is it more like he still has a chance with it, or is it more just NBA just being goofy?
No, I think he still has a chance. Dwight Howard has proved this season that he's back. You know, not back to the old Orlando Magic Howard, but he's definitely back. He deserves it. He's been proving it all season long. So I'm not surprised. He's gonna go on the dunk contest.
Okay, that's what I was hesitant, but I remember once I heard it, I checked some highlights of him this summer. He was in Venice Beach doing this like street dunk contest, and he was still getting up there. So, I mean, I don't think he's going to be the one that's going to be in the finals, but I hope he's going to pull back some Superman dunks again and see if he can bring some nostalgia from his good old days with it all.
Yes, hopefully.
And just so now, since it's getting closer, and also, since there's a lot of injuries coming up, say who of players that could get injured, so say like an Anthony Davis, who would be a good replacement, like say for the front court? Because players that are just out of the voting for that would be like Jokic, Towns, Porzingis, Ingram. I mean, Carmelo Anthony's even thrown in there, which that's just a nostalgia vote. But who takes spots for injured players? Like, say LeBron or AD goes out, who would you put in place for them? Because Kawhi and Paul George are up there, so they're already starters. But if you took a player out with injury, who would you fill in?
If you took LeBron out, I want to see Luka. I want to see Luka before LeBron anyway.
After I saw him rip his jersey the other night, I thought that was great, because he automatically had a look of like, oh, I didn't mean to do it like that. And he tried to hide it, but...
That was a rough game, man.
Skip Bayless then said that he wasn't a superstar. That made me real mad after that night. Skip Bayless, what do you expect?
Skip Bayless is an idiot.
What do you expect? I think he purposely is just like, oh, people think this, I'm going to take a hard turn and go the exact difference.
I mean, it's his second season. He's averaging 29 points, 9.7 rebounds, and 9 assists in his second season. Like, what do you want?
Oh, yep. He's doing it all, and he's getting the credit for it, but then there's also just, like I said, Skip Bayless just being dumb. Like, because of him, like, Porzingis is great, but he's also making that Dallas team all around good. Like, Tim Hardaway Jr., solid role player now. I would kill to have him on my Timberwolves. What was that?
Seth Curry's having a solid season.
Seth Curry's having a great season, too. I have on my fantasy team, I have Dwight Powell, who's one of their centers. He's putting up solid numbers, at least for fantasy-wise, for anyone that plays fantasy. He's actually doing some pretty great stuff with that.
I really like his game too.
It fits the mold of the league today for a big guy, which is we want you to block shots, get the lob passes, and get rebounds. Just be able to jump really high and be able to get up and down the court. And then if you can hit the 3 ball, even better with it all.
Yeah. So. No, because of the whole battle for LA thing, nobody's talking about Dallas too much this year, and I don't necessarily think that this is going to be their year, but I think a season, 2 seasons, 3 seasons from now, if they keep that core intact and they keep developing, they are going to be a scary team in the West.
And I can totally see that happening just because Rick Carlisle's a great coach. Players love playing for him, so that's going to attract things. And also, Mark Cuban is so respected among players, too. It's just a franchise that, over the past 20 years, like when they got Dirk, it's been such a great ran franchise. There's only been like a handful of seasons where they just missed the playoffs. But besides that, they've been just killer. So I think Dirk hand off the torch to Doncic. I have Luka and Porzingis as Steve Nash and Dirk Nowitzki 2.0.
Yeah, they're my favorite duo in the league right now, hands down.
They're a fun group to watch with it. Mm-hmm. They play really well with each other.
Yeah, and the whole team plays such good team basketball. Like, Maxi Kleba's really good, too.
Yeah, he came out of nowhere for me, too.
Yeah.
He was once again, unless you knew the Dallas team that well, he was pretty much, I mean, I didn't know it that well, and he came out of nowhere this year for me. So, yeah, that's just a great team all around with it. And, I mean, it's led by that number 2 voter with Luka, which that talent is ridiculous.
He's ridiculous. Like, for Skip Bayless to say he's not a superstar, like, Skip Bayless is the ultimate troll. There's no other reason to say something like that.
Yep, he's just one troll. He's the oldest troll I know.
But so many people listen to him, it makes me crazy.
Oh, it's cringy how much people actually take consideration in what he has to say. But, so right now, going back to that All-Star, so I'm looking at the voting-wise for at least numbers. I'm looking at the guards in the Eastern Conference. Those votes are pretty low. Like, the number 1 vote getter is Trae Young with 1.3 million, while that would be, say, if it was the front court for Eastern Conference, that would be 5th. That would be just under Jimmy Butler. So I'm looking at this. This is the Eastern Conference got great front court players, but that back court stuff is just nothing. A lot of letdowns because Zach LaVine, guy plays no defense. I love him as a Timberwolves player. Bradley Beal's on the list, which he's been injured for most of the season with it. Most of the season, I think it's been mostly ankle injuries, which is something that's always gotten him. I think a couple other things too. I probably don't know exactly for sure, but you know what? He's been injured out regardless. And then Derrick Rose is number 4, which Kyle Lowry at 6. That should be switched around. Derrick Rose, I love him. I love Derrick Rose.
Of course you do.
Big surprise there, right?
But Rose should be up there.
Well, he is, but once again, he's not playing back-to-backs. He's probably played about 2/3 of the season so far, which for him that's real great. But he's also playing limited minutes. He plays about 24 minutes a game.
Yikes!
I love Derrick Rose. Like when he was with my Timberwolves last year, I got a custom-made jersey of his. He is like a forever Timberwolves favorite. But he's on Detroit right now. Like that's a team where they're borderline about to explode. They're already looking for Drummond trades, and Blake Griffin has opted out on a knee surgery that pretty much takes him out for the rest of the year. They also have had Reggie Jackson on the trading block forever. So that's a team that I'm curious going into this All-Star weekend what they do with, if they decide to blow up or if they try to sneak into that 7th or 8th seed in the Eastern Conference with it. But
I think they really should just rebuild. Like, they have no chance even if they make the playoffs.
It's a weird age group they have. It's like you have Blake Griffin, who's a win now kind of guy. But then you have the role players are for, we're going to win within the next 3 to 4 seasons. And then,
I mean, Blake Griffin, even at his age, though, it's almost like, I said this to somebody this week, like, he should just call it and retire. He's never going to be healthy enough to be impactful on a team.
Like, if you want,
if it was going to happen, it would have happened by now.
He's got to learn how to, like, for the longest time, he was relying on his athleticism, which was great. But those players that rely on the athleticism, their careers are much shorter. The only player I can think that extended their career that was like a high flyer kind of player, Vince Carter. But that was because he changed his game.
Completely changed his game.
He complained his game. Yeah, exactly. So Blake Griffin, yes, he shoots 3-pointers now, but it's like he's forced to just because that's where the game's going.
Yeah, and it feels almost like whatever changes he did make is a little too late for his body. He's had too many things that's happened to him that it's like, no, we want you to learn this, and it's like, my body's not physically capable to learn that. Yeah.
Or to handle it, to experience it, so...
So, like, whatever Detroit does, they need even if they decide to try and sneak him into the playoffs this year, they need a change of direction. Like, it can't be about Blake Griffin anymore. Andre Drummond wants out.
And which, back to that, where is he going to end up? Because I don't think he's going to be in Detroit by trade deadline. He's been linked to Atlanta. I've heard a tiny one about Miami. And then,
no!
You don't want him in Miami? You don't want him in. I heard the rumor about that, and then I've also heard. Yeah, I said Atlanta. There was one. I can't remember the other team, but there were a couple teams with it. If I was thinking of Golden State, probably has some of the most appeal with that because they could trade D'Angelo Russell for the contract match, and then they could also trade some of their younger players because some of their rookies right now are actually playing really well this year. Some sleeper players with it all. But in just thinking, once that entire Warriors team's then healthy next year, with having a Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, he's sort of useful still, and then if Draymond or Andre Drummond as the center, something that they didn't have during their dynasty run. So having that, they'd go right back to top contender again. So
why don't you want him in Miami, Penny?
No.
Why?
He's just old. He's old. He has an attitude. I don't think he'll mesh well with Butler. He just seems lazy to me. Very lazy. I see him in the big three soon. Soon enough.
You see Drummond just turned 28. You see him in the big three?
And the man has last time I saw 20 and 20 games this season.
He's not worth it. He's not worth it to be in the Heat uniform.
I can see the argument because your team do a lot of running, right? Am I right? A lot of running.
You're right.
Yep, Drummond. He's not the athletic center to do that. And I would say he could be one of the centers that could just do the full court pass to start a fast break, but he's not the best passer either. So I think
that's not gonna fly in Miami.
And I heard one other, just like I think it was just like a clutch point. So take that with a grain of salt. But the other one was Portland. Like they have Nurkic, but he's been out for the entire year, and Whiteside though, but he's they could trade him because he's really inefficient. He'll have a game where he kills it and then do nothing. And Penny, you know all about that all too well.
Yes.
You know about that all too well.
You know what? Portland might be a good landing spot for him. I mean, Atlanta, obviously Trey needs some help, but again, Atlanta plays pretty fast too.
Yes.
Portland's a team though that they need to do one more trade just to because they're let down right now. Like, and Kevin Love not happy with that team, which understandable. Cleveland is horribly ran, but I hope he somehow ends up in Portland. I hope he ends up home, back where he grew up, because that's what that team needs.
Yes,
they need
Kevin Love.
Yeah, Kevin Love.
I don't think what Portland needs right now is one more shooter, though.
Well, then what's Portland? Because Portland should not be as bad as they have.
Big man. Portland needs a big man, I think, more than they need.
Well, when Nurkic comes back, that's their big man. Granted, you still don't know how he comes back with it, but I mean, you could Love. Besides three, he's still one of the best rebounders in the league. So I mean, at least for the time being, because they're not. Besides Whiteside, not the greatest rebounding team, I don't think, really. Because they've lost some of their other players that, like the defensive glue guys that just did it all, like Aminu. But I don't know.
Portland just feels very disjointed to me right now.
Is it players or coaching?
I think it's above that. I think it's the way they're putting the team together.
You think it's okay? So
I didn't think a long-term deal with McCollum and Dame was a great idea for the team.
How so? Like, do you not like the dual guard thing, or is it they're too similar in styles?
I think their styles are too similar. Yeah.
What would be What would be a third piece that would equal them out?
I think they need. I don't know. They're both a little on the small side. I think they could use some size, and I feel like neither of them are great facilitators. They both are better with the ball in their hand.
Yes, that I agree with. McCollum plays his best when he's not with Damian, and Damian's is the franchise player. So usually, regardless if McCollum is in or not, he's still starting off with the ball. So
right.
So
I think the biggest thing they need would be somebody who can facilitate more. Like somebody, that can get their own shots, but that is also a good passer. Like, maybe someone with a mid-range, like Ben Simmons kind of game, who's also a great assister.
Yeah, they need if they could get a big guy that could pass.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm seeing at like the All-Star stuff players that could be Domantas Sabonis. Do you think he would be a good spot for Portland? I know that they're not really necessarily looking for it because he's doing real great, but that is a player I'm seeing that money-wise...
I'm thinking, yeah.
Okay. One thing, speaking of Portland, I'm looking here, McCollum's not even in the top 10 for voting.
No.
For which I'm kind of shocked by. I mean, Ja Morant is 10th, and then there's don't know from there with it, but Caruso has more votes. Granted that he's 6th, so
let's not talk about Caruso.
He's ahead.
Crazy.
He's ahead of Donovan Mitchell, Booker, and D'Angelo Russell. Like that's not right.
Below Caruso, you mean?
Yeah, they're below Caruso.
Yeah, that should there's no reason for that. Like I understand that the fans take it as an opportunity to have their say in a popularity contest.
Yep.
I get that. But being in the top 10 in voting, even if you were never going to make the starters, it used to mean something about the work you put in and the game that you were playing.
Oh, yeah.
And with Caruso in there and Taco Fall, I have nothing against Taco Fall.
I love him. He's such
likable.
He's so charming.
Being 6th. No business being 6th.
He doesn't. He's only played, I think, like a handful of games this year.
3 games.
3?
3 games.
3 games this year. Exactly 3 games.
Alex Caruso is averaging 20 minutes and 5.8 points a game.
Off of 3 games. I'm assuming.
No, this is Alex Caruso now.
Alex Caruso, yeah. Well, yeah,
they 36 games.
They hype him up so much with that just because he's got those few highlights and then everyone loves him.
He's a white guy that can jump. That's the whole thing.
And he's balding.
And he's
okay, side note with...
And he plays for LeBron.
Yes. Okay, but side note with the balding thing. So, like, saying LeBron, oh no, he's losing hair. I don't get why everyone's freaking out at that. That happens to players. You know why Michael Jordan went clean-shaven? Because he got bald. Why did Shaq do it? Because he got bald. Why did Kobe Bryant do it? Because he was losing his hair. Why does everyone make a big deal about balding?
Because nobody talks about them doing it because they had the sense to let it go and go bald.
Just
nothing to talk about if you take that step and just be like, okay, it's over.
I guess. But I just...
That's not LeBron, though. He's the one who's in denial. He doesn't want to be bald.
That's... Yeah, if he could just accept being like, hey, yeah, I'm getting older, which means that I might be losing my hair. Oh, no. Just shave it. You're the best basketball player in the world. You can't... Losing your hair should not be the thing that makes you self-conscious.
Yeah.
I mean...
For him, it does.
I guess. I mean, he is King James. And he's got to always look his best, especially in L.A.
But the problem is, okay, he thinks he looked his best with the headband pushed all the way up his forehead to hide his hairline, or with that plastic spray-on, whatever that stuff.
That was embarrassing. That reminded me when... That reminded me of when Carlos Boozer did that when he was on the Bulls. It's like they just took like black magic marker and just scribbled it on his head. They're like, "We did it! We did it!" No, that's not how doing hair works. Get a weave first.
Well, he got a weave or a wig. I don't know what it was, but that was even worse.
He's got more hair on his beard. More hair on his beard than on his head. That's where it all went. That's where it all went. It went to his beard.
It migrated.
Because as a guy that also has a beard, he's got a very on point beard. So that's where his hair went. Now I think that's the conspiracy theory on where it went. It went to his chin.
When you have money, you have your own barber,
right?
At all times.
Your own barber that you can make HBO specials with, because that's what he did with his barber. Just sits down with the barbers. But yeah, okay. So with I think there's one more release of the All-Star voting before it's final. Because this is the second one that we've been talking about. Okay, so for your guys' final votes for yourself, okay, so you got the 3 front court players, Western Conference. Who is your personal pick? Jade, you can start off first for this one.
All 3 or just one at a time?
Just your 3 for front court for your personal picks off of non-fan thing.
I would take Kawhi Leonard. I'd take Karl Anthony Towns just because he is having a really good season, and if he's ever going to make the All-Star game, this might be his only chance. Sorry.
Hey, he's made it the past 2 seasons. So he has missed this, I think, because they played tonight. I think he's missed 11 games in a row. So I don't think just because of all the games he missed, I'm marking him off because he's 6th on the voting I see right now. Yeah, he's not going to get ahead of those other players as much as I want to.
I'm
But
going to go way down in the list, and I'm going to take Brandon Ingram because I think he deserves to be rewarded for the season he's having.
He is he's having like a silent killer years. He is an assassin now. I wish I could come up with something that quick right now about like him being a quiet assassin or killer or something because he's doing it so well down in New Orleans.
Yeah, that's my 3.
That's your 3. Penny, what's your 3?
Okay, my top 3
for Western.
Not be the most popular.
No, yeah, it doesn't have to be popular. Just your personal.
And it might be surprising, but I'm gonna go with Kawhi.
Kawhi, yeah.
And I'm gonna go down to Carmelo Anthony.
You're gonna do Anthony just for nostalgia's sake? I'm on board with that. I'm on board with that.
Anthony and then Howard, because Anthony and Howard is just having a good season.
So you're going. So you're doing it for nostalgia's sake.
Nostalgic, yep.
Okay, I like that. I'd probably have to go Anthony Davis, Kawhi. As much as I don't want to say it, but I'm going to because he's fun to watch. Jokic. So I said AD, Kawhi, and Jokic. Those would be my 3 because I'm just thinking of Jokic passing to Anthony Davis on an alley-oop, and that would just be poetry in motion for basketball. Okay.
That's interesting that none of us are LA fans, and we all got Kawhi. That's the only one.
Well, I mean...
You can't take his game away from him,
No.
I don't like him, but he's just super talented. He's one of the best basketball players, so... You gotta pick him number 1.
Like, if you had a 2K player, not named quite, like, it was a player you built, like, exact same stats, you would pick him right away. Best thing. So, regardless how you feel about the guy, like, he deserves that starting. But, okay, so we're gonna switch over conference for the front court. So, Eastern Conference. Okay, since Jade started last time with front court, Penny, you got the front court for Eastern Conference.
Well, how surprising. I'm gonna pick... Jimmy?
Yeah, I was waiting for that one.
Jimmy, Bam, and... this is going to be a good one. I would say Gordon.
Gordon? Okay. That's an out of the blue one, but okay. Yep. They are a top team right now, so Boston isn't, for some reason, Or I should say for some reason, because they got Tatum and all of them like that too. But I mean, none of them. They've been playing great team ball. None of them have really stuck out to me except like Jason Tatum, just because he's so young with it. But I'm glad that Howard's bouncing back with things then, or Hayward, huh? And then Jade, what's yours?
So I have to go with the voters and pick future Toronto Raptor Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Stop it! Stop it! I wish I had a buzzer for that. Oh, no. It's for something that's wrong that was said. No. He's not leaving. Ugh.
I gotta go Pascal Siakam, of course. And I also am gonna go with Gordon Hayward because I was not expecting him to be able to come back and just pick right back up where he left off when he got injured, and he has.
That's great to hear. Great feel-good story right there. Feel-good story. He's bouncing back like Paul George did. So that's great. I'd have to go... I'm surprised you guys didn't mention Joel Embiid. Eh? Well, we're all agreeing that... Okay, yep, okay. Just wanted to make sure if you guys weren't like, oh yeah, he's a player. Okay, just wanted to make sure. All right, so I'd have to go...
I think Penny and I were pretty aware of our picks.
Yeah, very true, very true. I'm sure neither of you guys care for that man too much. I think I'd have to go with Giannis, Pascal, and as much as I hate saying this right now, he's been so great. I'd have to go Jimmy. I'd have to go Butler. I hate myself so much for it being a Timberwolves fan.
That's a Penny. Great choice.
I slapped my leg in anger at that because that's a painful one to say for me. But okay, so now we're going Western Conference. So we're talking about guards. Okay, we got only two now here. Penny, who are your two guards for Western Conference?
Two guards.
It's hard to pick from because there's only two.
Yes. Okay. Oh no. Harden. Russell. And Devin Booker.
There'd only be two.
Oh, two.
It's only two.
Sorry. James Harden and Russell.
Russell?
Yes. I feel like that one hurt you, Penny, because I know
it did. I didn't want to say it. Did not want to say it, but I had to.
Jade, who you got?
I got Luka and Devin Booker.
Luka, Devin Booker. Everyone's with Devin Booker. Like, I get he's doing great with Phoenix. He's going to make the All-Star team this year. But
he had 7 30-point games in a row.
Yeah, you know who did that? Kobe Bryant. You know what?
Well, Kobe Bryant. So that's not helping your argument.
No, right when I said that, I was like, "Oh, I'm comparing him to Kobe Bryant." Oh, that's a really bad comparison right there.
Oh God.
That one backfired on me. I will take that as a foul on myself.
I hope he gets out of Phoenix because he deserves to be on a winning team.
He needs to come to Minnesota so him and D'Angelo Russell and Karl Anthony Towns can group up again because they're all homies and we got ourselves a young super team. Then who's running with the pack now? Guys are gonna be in the Wolves.
You were not funny.
You guys are getting in the Wolves den. You get in the Wolves den.
That was funny.
Hashtag run with the pack.
So nobody's gonna pick Caruso? Oh, come on.
Can I have him? Okay, Caruso is Towel Boy. He can give Kawhi his Gatorade. He can squirt it in his mouth like they do for athletes. They just like, here you go. I'll just squirt it in your mouth for you because you're too lazy for it. You've been using your arms all night. I'll be your arms for your water bottle.
See, here's my solution to the popularity vote. They should do
Get rid of it?
They should do a separate vote for popularity popularity, and those players should play in the celebrity game.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's what I think.
Genius. That's genius.
The actual All-Star game on Sunday should be the best players. I wouldn't even be mad about doing it based on if you're under this many minutes, this many points, you don't even qualify for the vote.
I got an idea.
Popularity contest and throw them in the celebrity game.
I know. I got an idea. Take the best G Leaguers against those random picks like Caruso and Taco Fall, and have them play, and let's see who's better. See who really deserves to be on an NBA team, or who's just taking stuff at the end of the bench.
And you know what else? Because the G League is becoming a bigger part of the actual NBA.
Oh yeah.
It would be a nice way to include the G League teams, because last I looked, every team except for one or two has a G League affiliate now.
Yeah. The Wolves.
So that would be a really interesting way to fold everybody in together. I like that.
The Wolves have used right now. We have currently on our team 6 G Leaguers. 2 of them start. So I know all about how useful the G League is.
Oh, you don't have to tell me. Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet, Norman Powell, all those guys played in the G League.
Okay, Timberwolves don't have that great of fines.
I know, that's fine.
Ours are more like, yeah, we got you first round pick. Oh, you're not doing well. Ah, crap, we don't want to waste you, so let's just go to the G League for now. You'll be here till your rookie contract's done, and then you'll go be nothing somewhere else, except have a good game against the Timberwolves. That's the same story. Sad day. Okay, switching back over. So, last but not least, we got Eastern Conference guards. So, Jade, I know there's a bunch to pick from for that one. Just the list is endless. Who would you have as your 2?
I like Trae Young this year.
Okay.
And I don't want to say Fred VanVleet just because I'm a Toronto fan, but I'm going to say it anyway.
If you're going to say, yeah, I mean, this is your choice. I mean, it's wrong right now. Like I said, red buzzer, but... And Penny, your take. Which one? What do you got?
My top 2, I'm going to be Young, because he's having a great season. And Derrick Rose.
Derrick Rose, you're going to... You got a nostalgic squad out there with Melo and...
Got to go for the veterans.
Yeah, you're just... Farewell tour for all of them right now.
Yes.
I just to wrap it up, I think go with Kemba. I love Kemba. I love his little shimmies when he makes his 3-pointers. And then I'd have to also go with Trae Young. I think he's just a younger, lesser version of Steph Curry. Which says a lot, because Steph Curry is one of the best. So, and Trae will be there soon, hopefully. Maybe. Who knows? He's great right now. That's what matters. So, now, at this point, since we're wrapping up for today's recording, so we're going to do some fast break questions. We're going to be answering top of the head right now. Penny, first off, disappointments. Who is your disappointing team this year with it?
Disappointing team. That's a hard one. Let me see. Well, the Knicks are always on that tough list.
Yeah, that's expected. Which team?
That's expected.
Which team, when you saw this year, they're going to be a solid team, playoff, possibly contender team, and now they're maybe barely even scratching the playoffs or not making the playoffs at all right now. Who is a sad team to mention?
Sad team right now, I would think the Brooklyn Nets.
Yep.
I would say. I know KD is injured, whatever, but I didn't think Kyrie would be injured so quickly during the season. So I thought he was going to, give momentum to the team, to the young team players. But that's my disappointment for this season.
Brooklyn is? All right.
Yes.
Jade, what's your disappointing team?
My disappointing team is the 76ers.
76ers? Oh, I'm not crying over that one.
They should be better than they are. I don't love the Sixers. I really enjoy watching Ben Simmons play basketball. And over the summer when he was working on his jump shot, I was so excited. Because if Ben Simmons has a jump shot, he is unguardable.
Yeah, but
How are you going to guard that guy with a jump shot?
I don't even get it either. He's got good shot. He's got a good shot for him.
His shot looks good. And in his workouts in the summer, he was hitting tough turnaround, fadeaway jump shots with a hand in his face.
Mental?
And now the season started and he's taken 4 or 5, something like that. So, like, as far as I'm concerned, if Ben Simmons isn't going to shoot, they need to pick him or Embiid and build around them and let the other one go.
They got to figure out who they're building around. They have too much talent for their own good.
Yep.
Okay, so we got disappointments, surprise teams. Who is the team right now you thought might have been a bottom feeder of the conference now is actually like a playoff contention or a playoff contender that's actually a title? Jade, who is that for you right now?
Boston has surprised me. I wasn't sure about them early in the season. They got rolling, and I looked at their schedule, and I was like, let's see what happens. But the fact that they were able to absorb all those weeks that Hayward was out and keep going and have him come back the way he has, I didn't see that coming.
Okay, that's a good pick. That was a big one too. Also, who knew how he could do with Kyrie and see how Kemba could fill his shoes, which he's done great with that. Penny, who is your surprise team?
Oh man, that's a good one.
You're allowed to say the Heat. It's okay.
Yeah, if you say the Heat, that's fine. I might pull up another buzzer because that's fan favoritism. That's bias, but that's fine still.
Well, no, they're not. It's not a surprise because they were doing well last season. So they added Jimmy Butler and just.
I was curious on how they were going to mesh with him.
Yeah.
I was seeing which team could actually work with him. But are you going to choose? Are you going to stick with Miami, or are you going to?
No, I'm going to say Dallas.
Dallas? Yep, that's a good.
Dallas. That's my choice. Dallas.
I would. My quick choice, I'd got to do Phoenix. Phoenix, they're not necessarily doing amazing. They're getting to the playoffs. It's looking like, I think they're like a 7th seed or something like that. They've been playing way better than they have. I don't know if you guys heard this, but Aaron Baines the other night had 25 rebounds, but 0 points with it. But still, like, they have players that are in there. Rubio's actually having a pretty solid year with them. DeAndre Ayton's back, and he's doing pretty solid. So I'd say Phoenix is my surprise pick of the year right now. Okay, and then so we got those two. Okay, and then now last one so far out of all the teams, who is the best contender right now? Who's going to win it all right now? Who you got at this point in January? Penny, what you got? This is the deciding question.
That's hard. I think I'm going to stick with the Lakers.
You're going to stick with the Lakers?
If Anthony Davis is healthy.
If Anthony Davis is healthy.
That's a big if.
That's been my thing all year. Anthony Davis has to play at least 60 games for the Lakers to be in full effect, and he has to be there for the entire playoffs. You can't do no load management for that.
Not gonna happen.
Ooh. See, might gonna have to separate you two with that pick there. Gonna have to separate you two. Got those two hot takes going on. We gotta put out the fire. Jade, who is your pick right now as of January?
Right now, I gotta give it to the Bucks.
The Bucks? Do you think that they finally put it all together around Antetokounmpo?
I think if they're ever going to, it's got to be this year.
You think it's this year?
Yeah,
They have a win now team.
The Lakers are playing great basketball, but I don't trust their health through March, April. I just don't see that happening. I also don't really think Budenholzer is a playoff coach. So there's that too. But I think those are the two teams with the best chance right now. Right. And I have to give it to the Bucks over the Lakers right now.
Oh,
Bucks over the Lakers. Well, I mean, Antetokounmpo is this current day Shaquille O'Neal, so I mean, maybe we could good take with that one. I'm going to stick with what I said at the beginning of the season. I'm sticking with the Clippers.
You still got the Clippers, eh?
I still got the Clippers. Kawhi's too. Like the other night they had 30
plays. Attention lately, though.
What?
That's why I didn't pick the Clippers. I know they're going downhill.
Too. I was the Clippers at the beginning too, but I don't know what's going on out there right now, but they are struggling.
Yep.
I'm not worrying about it. They get to the playoffs and you got Doc as coach, you got Paul George, you got Kawhi Leonard, Lou Williams coming off the bench, Montrezl Harrell coming off the bench. That team's going to be fine once it comes playoff time.
Usually I would say that too, but you're going to give up 140 points to the Grizzlies. I have to reconsider.
Well, you know what? My Timberwolves have lost both games against them this year, so I say don't knock the Memphis Grizzlies.
The Clippers right now, really?
They beat the... No, Grizzlies, I'll switch back my surprise team to Memphis just so it doesn't seem as bad that the Clippers lost. Memphis was my surprise team this year. Oh, see, now it's better. Now my choice is more correct. But, yeah.
Barely need a buzzer, too.
What was that? What was that, Jade? Oh, God. Oh, gosh. Okay, so looks like we got through those rapid-fire questions. I don't know how rapid it was, but, we were doing a little bit quicker than we were with the main topic, and that's perfectly fine with that. Okay, so we got Jade, Penny, your host TJ here, coming right over here from Hardcourt Honeys, also on Belly Up. Make sure also follow up on any kind of social media with Belly Up right now. We're always putting out new stuff. We got podcasts coming out regularly, some video stuff, contests and stuff, apparel. Follow us, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff you'll love to use every single day. So, signing off for this week. See you guys later. Keep on watching that basketball.